Hello, my dear drifting dreamers. I'm Samantha, your quiet voice in the dark, your soft guide towards rest and warmth. If this calm feels lovely to you, you may gently press like and wander over to subscribe to Bedtime Sleep Stories so you can return to this peaceful corner whenever night asks for comfort. Now breathe easy, let the day fall away, and allow your mind to float. Let the air around you grow heavier, softer, like warm wool settling on your shoulders. Breathe in for 4 slow heartbeats. Hold for 4 and release for 6. Feel your body sink a little deeper into the mattress with every exhale. It is the deep quiet of 3:17 a.m., the kind of quiet that has weight, like velvet draped over the world. Even the refrigerator has stopped humming, as if it, too, is trying not to disturb you. Outside, snow has begun its silent ceremony. Each flake lands on the windowsill with the tiniest kiss of sound, almost nothing. Yet you feel it in your skin. The street lamps glow through the curtains, turning the room into a pale gold aquarium where everything drifts. You are floating in that aquarium, weightless, blanket tucked under your toes, the cotton cool and smooth against the backs of your knees. The pillow beneath your cheek has warmed to exactly your temperature. It cradles the exact curve of your skull as though it was poured there. Then a change. A thread of scent slips beneath the bedroom door, so delicate you almost doubt it. Old paper warmed by decades of gentle hands. A breath of vanilla being left open on a windowsill. The faintest trace of cedar smoke from a hearth that has never known hurry. It is the smell of libraries when the lights are low and the books are dreaming. The scent thickens, patient, coaxing. It curls around your ankles like a cat that knows you will follow. You sit up slowly. The duvet slides from your shoulders with a hushed sigh, cool air kissing collarbones, then forearms, then wrists. Your bare feet touch the floorboards smooth, almost silken from years of bare summer feet and winter socks. And they are the perfect temperature, neither cold nor warm, simply present, holding you. Padding down the hall, each footfall is muffled, as though the carpet has grown thicker tonight just for you. At the end of the corridor, where only blank wall should be, a narrow oak door now now stands. Its grain swirls like river water, frozen mid-ripple. The brass handle is shaped like a sleeping fox curled around itself, and it is warm, body warm, when your palm closes over it. Snow light filters through the small window beside the door, painting your skin pearl and silver. Flakes drift past the glass so slowly they seem suspended in syrup. You turn the handle. The door opens with the softest exhale, releasing a ribbon of air that smells of toasted marshmallow and candlewick just after blowing out. It strokes your cheeks, your throat, the hollow beneath your ear. Beyond lies the lane, cobblestones blanketed in new snow that glows faintly blue. The stones beneath your bare feet are impossibly soft, like stepping onto thick moss, still holding the day's warmth. Every footfall makes the gentlest give, a tiny cradle, then release. Lanterns sway overhead, their glass frosted, light inside the color of warm honey mixed with milk. Snowflakes settle on your eyelashes, cool for a heartbeat, then melting into the tiniest drops that taste faintly of vanilla sugar. The shop's door stands open a handspan. From within drifts the low crackle of a wood fire, the faint rustle of pages turning themselves, and the quiet clink of a porcelain mug being set down in invitation. A brass bell sighs one liquid note, as though it has been holding its breath for years, and is finally, delightedly, allowed to speak. You step inside, and the air folds around you like the softest cashmere scarf, still holding someone else's warmth. It smells of roasted chestnuts left to cool on a cast iron stove, of parchment kept in cedar drawers, of dark chocolate melting slowly on a spoon. The door closes behind you with a sound like a kiss pressed to the back of a letter. Every breath you take is deeper than the last, as though the shop is teaching your lungs a gentler rhythm. The fire in the round hearth breathes with you. In, out, tiny lavender flames curling like kittens stretching after a nap. The rug beneath your feet is so thick your toes disappear. It is the color of storm clouds just before rain, and it radiates a low, steady warmth that rises through the soles of your feet, up your calves, loosening every small place you didn't know was holding tension. Your mug is waiting on the counter. The pottery is satin smooth, thick enough to feel substantial, yet light in your palms. Steam rises in lazy spirals, carrying cocoa so rich it feels like velvet on the tongue, laced with a thread of orange blossom, and the memory of the first snow day when school was canceled. When you lift it, the handle fits your fingers perfectly, as though the mug has been waiting its whole existence to be held by you. The first sip coats your mouth with liquid dusk, warm, sweet, with a whisper of salt that makes you think of tears that have decided to become something kinder. The shopkeeper's cardigan smells of pipe smoke and library dust, and something like oatmeal cookies cooling on a windowsill. His voice, when he speaks, is felt as much as heard, a low, slow resonance in the center of your chest, like a cello string plucked once and allowed to hum forever. He leads you to the armchair. The velvet is the deep green of pine after rain. It sighs as you sit, molding itself around the exact shape of your tiredness. The crochet blanket, thick stitches the color of clotted cream, unfurls and floats down over your lap, heavier than it looks, warm as fresh bread, smelling faintly of lavender sachets kept between sheets. When you settle back, the chair rocks once, twice, an almost imperceptible cradle, then stills exactly where your body wishes to rest. The fire settles too, flames lowering to a steady rose gold heartbeat. Each pop sends a puff of scent, cedar, vanilla, a trace of frankincense, like incense made of childhood winters. Outside the round window, snow falls in slow motion, each flake catching the lamplight and glowing like a tiny lantern before it kisses the glass and vanishes. People only find this shop, he says, when sleep has gone wandering without them. You are very welcome. Here, we do not chase sleep. We invite it, the way one invites an old friend who is shy about knocking. He lifts a large book from beneath the counter, forgotten stories that still remember you. He opens the great blue book. Its pages are thick, almost cloth-like, and they smell of rain on stone. he turns one, the sound is the softest thunder. Far away and harmless, he begins to read, and his voice is warm honey poured over river stones. "Would you like me to read?" he asks. "Only if it feels right. There is no hurry." You nod, small and slow. He smiles again, and it is the smile of someone who has waited years for exactly this moment, and is not impatient that it has finally come. He opens the book across his knee. "Let us begin," he says softly, "with a story that has been waiting a very long time for ears gentle enough to hear it." He begins to read. His voice is the quietest thing in the world, yet every word arrives perfectly, as though traveling on its own small cushion of air. "This is the tale," he says, "of the lantern keeper who lived on the edge of dreams." And then he reads, "Once, long ago and very near, there was a village that floated just above the sea of sleep. Its houses were made of the soft stuff that thoughts are stitched from, and its streets were paved with the hush between heartbeats. In this village lived a woman whose job it was to keep the lanterns of waking dreams alight. Every night she walked the lanes with a tin bucket full of liquid starlight, refilling each lantern so that those who tossed in their beds might find a small, warm glow to guide them back to rest. She was gentle, this lantern keeper, and she never hurried. She knew that dreams are shy creatures, and if you chase them, they only run faster. One winter night, so like this night, the snow fell upward. Yes, upward. The flakes rose from the ground and climbed back into the sky, carrying with them all the worries people had left lying around like forgotten coats. The lantern keeper watched, smiling, as the snow lifted sorrow after sorrow into the dark, where the stars could mend them, but one small worry remained on the ground, too heavy for even upward snow. It was shaped like a pebble, gray and smooth, and it pulsed faintly with the heartbeat of someone far away who could not sleep. The lantern keeper knelt. She placed her hand over the worry pebble and felt its ache. "This one," she whispered, "is stubborn. It will need more than starlight." So she did a brave and tender thing. She opened her own chest just here, over the heart, and took out a single small lantern that had always burned inside her. Its flame was the color of the first lullaby your mother ever sang. She placed this lantern beside the worry pebble. Slowly, gently, the pebble began to warm. Its edges softened. It grew lighter and lighter until it too rose with the upward snow, carrying the lantern with it, up and up, until both became a new star, one that would shine only for the person who had lost it. The lantern keeper stood in the street, chest open to the night, and felt no cold. Only a sweet, hollow place where something important had lived, and now lived elsewhere, doing quiet good. She smiled, closed her chest with care, and walked on, refilling the other lanterns with what starlight remained. And from that night on, whenever someone in the wide world below looked up and saw a star that seemed to pulse gently like a heart saying, "Hush, hush, you are safe," that was her lantern, still burning, still keeping watch. The shopkeeper's voice slows, almost to nothing. He turns the page with fingers that tremble just slightly, the way candle flames tremble when they are happy. Outside, the snow has begun to fall downward again, soft as forgiveness. He looks at you over the edge of the book. Your eyelids are heavy now, but not yet closed. The fire pops once, a small, kindly sound. "Shall we rest here a moment?" he asks. You nod, the smallest movement. He closes the book, but does not set it aside. He simply holds it against his chest, as though keeping the story warm. Minutes pass, or perhaps hours. There is no clock, and the concept of time has curled up on the hearthrug like a cat. The cocoa in your mug has somehow stayed the perfect temperature. You take another slow sip. It tastes now of the lantern keeper's starlight, faint and sweet. Snow taps the round window like a friend who is not sure whether to knock. The shopkeeper watches the fire, and his eyes reflect the lavender flames. After a long, delicious stillness, he opens the book again. "There is another story," he says, voice even softer now, "that wishes to be read tonight. It is shorter, and it is about a library much like this one." He begins. "Long ago," he reads, "when the world was still new enough to be shy. There existed a library that grew on the inside of a mountain. Its books were not made of paper, but of silence. Each volume was a different length of silence, some thin as a held breath, some thick as centuries. To read one, you did not open it, you simply sat beside it, and the silence would slip into your chest like cool water into a glass, filling you until you understood everything the silence wished to say. The librarian of this mountain was a fox with silver fur and eyes the color of library lamps at closing time. She moved without sound, naturally, since sound was kept in the books and could not walk about loose. One night, a traveler climbed the mountain. He was weary the way only people who have forgotten how to rest can be weary. His thoughts rattled like dry seeds in a pod. He found the library door standing open, though doors made of silence rarely need to be either open or closed. Inside, the fox librarian greeted him with a tilt of her head. "You look," she said without speaking, "like someone who has been reading the wrong book for a very long time." The traveler nodded. He had been reading the book of what must be done, and it had grown heavier each year. The fox led him between shelves of silence until they came to a small volume bound in dusk-colored velvet. On its spine, in letters that appeared only when you were not quite looking, were the words, "The short book of not having to do anything for a while." The traveler sat. The fox placed the book in his lap. He did not open it. He simply waited. Slowly, the silence began to enter him. First, his shoulders loosened, then his jaw, then the small, worried crease between his eyes smoothed itself away. He stayed until the book was entirely inside him. When he stood, the volume was gone, but he was not empty. He was full of the gentlest nothing he had ever known. He bowed to the fox. She bowed back, tail curling like smoke. As he descended the mountain, the path felt softer, as though the stones themselves had decided to be kind. Years later, people said that if you were very quiet on certain nights, you could hear a faint rustle high in the peaks, the sound of a fox turning a page made of moonlight. The shopkeeper's words slow until they are barely more than breath. He closes the book again. The fire has settled into embers the color of sleep itself. Your head has found the perfect hollow in the armchair. The blanket has crept higher, tucking itself beneath your chin. Outside, the snow has stopped falling. The world is holding its breath, the way it does just before the best kind of dream begins. The shopkeeper watches you with infinite patience when he sees that your eyes have drifted shut. He does not speak again. He simply sits, holding the book, keeping the quiet for you. Minutes slide by like warm honey, then so softly you might think you dreamed it. He whispers one last sentence, not from the book, but from somewhere deeper. Whenever you need to remember that you are allowed to rest, the door will be there. You do not remember falling asleep. Only that sleep found you the way a tide finds the shore, without announcement, without effort. Dreams come, but they are not the sharp kind that startle. They are slow dreams, made of the same substance as the shop. Lamplight on old paper, snow that falls upward, cocoa that never cools. In the dream you walk through the shelves, trailing your fingers along spines that hum faintly under your touch. Some books glow when you pass. Others open themselves just enough to release a sigh that smells of places you loved when you were small. The fox from the mountain library pads beside you for a while, silent and companionable. She leads you to a shelf you have never noticed before. On it stands a single book with your name on the cover, written in handwriting that feels like someone who loves you. You reach for it, but the fox gently touches your wrist with her cool nose. "Not yet," she says without words. "That one is for later, when you are ready to read the story of how gently the world has always held you." You nod, understanding completely. Time unwinds. The shop's lamps dim further, until the only light is the faint rose of the embers and the silver from the snow outside. Somewhere, a clock made of heartbeats strikes a note too low to hear, yet you feel it in your chest, once, twice, then no more. The shopkeeper rises soundlessly. He places another log on the fire. It is not wood, but compacted lullabies, and when it catches, the flames sing in frequency pregnancies that loosen the last small knots inside your shoulders, your calves, the soles of your feet. He returns to his stool, opens the great blue book one more time, and reads, not aloud now, but directly into the quiet that surrounds your dreaming. The story he reads has no words you could repeat. It is the story of every night you were ever rocked as a child. Every time someone left a light on for you. Every blanket that ever felt like safety. It pours into the room like warm milk into a cup, filling every corner, rising until the shop itself is floating inside it. You feel yourself lifted, cradled, carried. You are walking, though you have no weight. The shopkeeper walks beside you, carrying nothing. The door, the same oak door that appeared in your hallway, stands open onto the familiar dark of your own corridor. Snow has followed you home, just a little, drifting in lazy spirals that melt before they touch the floor. He stops at the threshold. You may keep the mug, he says, smiling. It will always hold exactly what you need, and it will never grow cold. You look down and realize you are still holding it. The cocoa has become starlight now, liquid and faintly glowing. He reaches out and smooths an invisible hair from your forehead. His hand smells of vanilla and paper and kindness that has been alive for centuries. Thank you, you whisper. Your voice is small, but it fills the hallway like a candle. Thank you, he answers, for trusting the night enough to open the door. Behind him, the bookshop lamps dim to a single friendly glow. The fire gives one last lavender sigh and becomes a heap of soft ash that smells of sleep. He steps backward into the light. The door begins to close, not with a slam, but the way eyelids close when dreaming is certain. Just before it shuts, you hear his voice one final time, far away and impossibly near. The shop will wait. It always does. Whenever the world grows too loud and sleep hides again, simply walk to the end of your hall and remember the scent of cinnamon and old paper. We will leave the lantern on. The door closes. The wall is a wall again. You are standing in your hallway, barefoot, holding a mug of starlight. The floor is warm now, as though the cobblestones remember you. You walk to your room. The bed has turned itself down. The sheets smell faintly of the bookshop fire. You slip between them. The mug places itself on your bedside table, glowing softly. A small, patient moon. Outside, snow begins again ordinary. Downward snow this time. But every flake carries a tiny reflection of the lavender flames you saw earlier. You close your eyes. Sleep is not something you fall into tonight. It is something that rises to meet you, gentle and certain, like a tide that has always known your name. The last thing you feel is the blanket settling over you, tucking itself in with the care of someone who has all the time in the world. And somewhere, very far and very near, a brass bell gives one low, liquid note, more a sigh than a ring. Good night. The shop is already waiting for the next time you need it. But for now, rest. Rest completely. You are safe. You are held. You are home.